Hello viewers, welcome to the video lecture series for the job role Hand Embroiderer, Class 10th, Unit 2, Session 2. Our topic for today is chain stitch and zigzag chain stitch. Chain stitch is a loop stitch which is used majorly for outline in the design. This stitch forms a line of interlocking loops. It can be used as an outline stitch or a decorative stitch in the design. Zigzag chain stitch is a variation of chain stitch which creates zigzag line of interlocking loops. Before starting with the stitches, let us first look at the materials required. We'll need carbon paper, a design on butter paper, pen or pencil, scissors, needle, fabric which is starch-free and well ironed, embroidery hoop or frame, embroidery thread or floss. Once we have all our material, let us start with the embroidery. To trace the design, place the fabric on a flat surface. Now place the carbon paper on the fabric. Above this, place the butter paper with design, and with the help of a pen or a pencil, trace the design on the fabric. While tracing the design on the fabric, we must make sure that the fabric is in place so that the design traced is well in place. For doing so, we can attach all the three layers with the help of pins. With this, the design is traced on the fabric. We have traced the design on the fabric. Now, the next step is fixing the fabric on the frame or hoop. For fixing the fabric on embroidery hoop or frame, we'll place the small ring of the hoop at the bottom, and above which we'll place the design fabric, and on the top we'll place the larger ring. Stretch the fabric on the frame and tighten the screw. Make sure that the fabric is stretched and tightened properly. Now, our fabric is ready to be embroidered. Next step in the embroidery is threading the needle. To thread the needle, we'll take 3 strands of thread and we'll thread the needle. Once the needle is threaded, we'll now make a knot on one end of the thread. Next step is stitch formation. First, we'll start with chain stitch. From the wrong side of the fabric, bring the needle up. Now, leaving a little loop of thread on the surface, take the needle back from the same hole. Bring the needle back on the fabric surface. Make sure that the needle is inside the loop. We'll repeat the steps again. So we'll loop the thread, take the needle back from the same hole, bring the needle up, once you reach the end of your outline, anchor over the last stitch and take your needle at the back side of the fabric. Now, lock the stitch with a small loop and cut the extra thread. Now we'll learn how to do zigzag chain stitch. For doing so, mark point 1, 2 and point 3. With a threaded needle with a knot at one end, we'll bring the needle up at point 1 and leaving a little loop of thread on the surface, we'll take the needle back at the same hole, that is point 1, and bring the needle up at point 2. We'll repeat the steps and take the needle back at point 2 and bring the needle up at point 3. Similarly, we'll complete the design outline. Once you reach the end of your design, anchor over the last stitch and take your needle at the back side of the fabric. Now, making a small loop, lock the stitch and clip the extra thread. With this, our design is ready. I have added some lazy daisy stitches to complete the design. The last step is removing the fabric from the hoop. Now remove the fabric from the hoop by loosening the screw. You can iron your design from the back side. With this, the design is ready. Let us now summarize the steps for doing chain and zigzag chain stitch. The first step is tracing the design. The next step is fixing the fabric on the frame or the hoop. The third step is threading the needle. The fourth step is making chain or zigzag chain stitches. The fifth step is locking and clipping the thread. Sixth step is removing the fabric from the hoop and ironing it. So, I hope the video was helpful and interesting for you all. That's all for now. Keep watching, keep learning and keep practicing. Thank you.